Today we're going to start a new reading unit, and this reading unit is going to be figuring out words and phrases in a text using context clues. So as you get older and as your reading level increases, you're going to be reading more challenging texts, and you're going to be faced with words that you're not going to know the meaning of because you've never seen them before. So good readers have a strategy for figuring out words that they don't know the meanings of, and that is using context clues in a text. So today we're going to go over how to use context clues, and I know that you all have practiced this before, so it's going to be a little bit of a review, but it's always nice to review because we're constantly growing our reading levels and we're constantly going to be reading new and challenging texts. So I'm going to go ahead and minimize my screen over here. And we have a PowerPoint presentation that I have for you today. And so today we're going to be looking at context clues in informational texts. So our objective today, or what we're going to be learning, is we're going to be using context clues to help determine the meaning of a word. So our objective is just that. So some prior knowledge that you guys already have, you've used clues around you to help make predictions. So for example, Greg brushes his teeth every night. So I predict that his teeth are going to be clean. I can make that prediction on my own pretty easily. Susie sees dark clouds and rain, so I predict she'll need to bring a what to school, and obviously that answer then would be an umbrella or a rain jacket. All right, so we're today going to be looking at a text on Harriet Tubman. And just looking at the text from Harriet Tubman, I know some of you are going to be real experts because at least one person did this as their wax museum portrayal. But Harriet Tubman was an enslaved person, and we're going to read a text about her. But what we're going to be trying to figure out in this text is the meaning of Underground Railroad. So we have it underlined right over here. So let's go ahead and read this text together. Harriet Tubman was a wonderful person who helped many people. Having escaped slavery herself in 1849, she then helped many others run away from their slave owners. This was dangerous work. She eventually became a conductor of the Underground Railroad. She helped many people find safe places to stay while they were traveling to the north to find freedom. They nicknamed her Moses. What a risk she took to help others. Okay, so let's take a look at what we're going to be doing here. So we're going to look at sentences around the unknown word for clues. So we're looking at sentences around the Underground Railroad because that's the word that we're trying to, or the phrase that we're trying to figure out the meaning for. So I've highlighted in purple some sentences around that word, both before and after the word. I've highlighted, she then helped many others run away from their slave owners. And I've also highlighted, she helped many people find safe places to stay while they were traveling to the north to find freedom. So those are my context clues that I'm going to use to help me figure out the meaning of Underground Railroad. So over here, my context clues section, I've written down, she then helped many others run away from their slave owners. She helped many people find safe places to stay while they were traveling to the north to find freedom. So these are going to help me think about what the Underground Railroad is. The next part I'm going to do then, or the next piece of figuring out the meanings of unknown words, is what I already know. So I need to think about what my prior knowledge is. And so what I already knew about Harriet Tubman and about Underground Railroad and about everything happening at this time, I know that enslaved people escaped to the northern states in Canada. I had already heard about this. I've read about it. I already know some things about that. And I also know that the word underground sometimes means hidden. So sometimes that's the word. It doesn't always have to be actually dug underneath the ground. Sometimes that word underground is another word for hidden. All right, so we're going to take our context clues and what we already know about the word, and then we're going to help put those two things together to help us come up with what the meaning is of the Underground Railroad. So let's go to the next slide, and I think I'll have to move my video up here. And so we come over here and we have the meaning of the Underground Railroad. So I put together my context clues and what I already know, and I came up with the Underground Railroad was a collection of routes and homes leading to the north that helped enslaved people get to freedom. So there's one example of using context clues for figuring out the meaning of a word or a phrase. We're going to do one more example today. So let me go on to the next page here. Oh. Quick review. Why context clues are important. It's important to be able to use context clues to help determine the meaning of a word because sometimes dictionaries aren't always available to look up a word we don't understand. Sometimes we don't have a parent or a teacher around to ask, so we need to be able to figure those words out by ourselves. And number two, using this strategy may give you a deeper understanding of what you're reading. Now, a lot of early readers, what they do is they just kind of skip over words that they don't know the meaning of, and they don't try to figure them out. They just focus on the ones that they know how to read. But as you grow your reading levels, you're going to start to find that you are looking to figure out words. And so here's a strategy that you can use to help you figure out the words that you don't know. All right, so we're going to do one more example here. Today, the last example that we're going to be figuring out is we're going to be figuring out the meaning of the word geographical. So we're going to do the same process that we did before. We're going to locate our context clues. We're going to identify what I already know about what the word might mean. And then finally, we're going to determine the meaning of the word by using the context clues and what I already know. So let's go ahead and look at this text, Geographical Features. Maps can be used to help you get places you want to go. Maps have many geographical features. Maps can show differences in the Earth's surface by showing different colors on different parts of the map. If you see an area that is mostly one color, that is a region. Regions are areas where most things in it are alike. Some types of regions are deserts, mountains, valleys, hills, coastal areas, oceans, and lakes. And the other thing I want to point out on this slide is I also have included a picture here of a map. And I can also look at this map and I can see some differences in color that might help me out too with figuring out what the term geographical means. So let's go ahead and look at what our context clues are. I have highlighted for our context clues, maps can show differences in the Earth's surface by showing different colors on different parts of the map. So I look over at my map and I see if I look at like the Western United States, I'm going to see lots and lots of red and yellows. And if I look more toward the eastern side, I see more green and light yellow over here too. All right, let's go on to what I already know. I know, because we've had our unit on maps, I know that maps help people understand where things are located. And I also know that maps can help understand how land is different in different places. So now we're going to put our two boxes together, our context clues box and the what I know box together. And we're going to use both of those boxes to come up with our meaning. So let me go ahead and go to our next slide. I'll move my video up. And our meaning of geographical, it means the study of how Earth's surfaces are different. So I used my context clues. Maps can show differences on Earth's surface, and I also can use what I know. So maps help people understand where things are located. Maps can help understand how the land is different. Putting all those things together, it helps me understand that that word geographical means the study of how Earth's surfaces are different. All right, the last thing you're going to do for me today is after you're done watching this video, I have a very quick Google slide for you to fill out for me to show that you watched the lesson today. And tomorrow then I'll be back with some more review on context clues. So I hope you have a wonderful day.